Hey, how you guys doing out there today? This is Stefan Jimenez from the RotoBeast team, and I'm here to present you our NBA picks for Thursday, November 2nd. As always, if you want to watch our full video, please go subscribe to our YouTube channel at RotoBeast. And if you want to play the actual lineups that we're playing, please visit our website at www.rotobeast.net. So, a couple things on the agenda. First thing first. Sad loss for my Dodgers, but you know what? It was a great World Series. We got all the way to Game 7. We fought our hearts out and we just came up a little bit short. Next, hey, I just want to tell the haters, hey, thank you guys very much for all the free publicity that you guys have been giving me. You think that you're hurting me, but you're actually helping me. Business is at an all-time high right now. So, hey, say what you want. The money team is on top, and we're going to continue being on top, and we're going to continue crushing this season. And that's all we're going to do. So let's go. All right, so let's jump into this slate. It's only 2 games, plain and simple. But besides it only being 2 games, it's a pretty 2 good games. I think there's going to be a lot of fantasy relevance in these 2 games. We'll start with the first game. It's the Warriors at San Antonio. It has the highest implied total of 218 projected on the slate. The Warriors are favored by 6.5. The next game is the Lakers at Portland. This has a 210 implied total with the Portland Trail Blazers favored by 7.5. So the top teams to target, I think it's gonna, for sure be the Warriors with no going against the Spurs with no Kawhi Leonard. They have the highest implied total on the slate at 112, and they actually get a -3 pace down game. So kind of but I mean they're gonna put up points, and they're the best team by far on this slate and in the league. Next, we'll talk about the Blazers. They have the second highest implied total of 109 projected points on this slate. They actually get a 4% pace bump going against the Lakers, who play at a very fast pace. I think this is going to be a back-and-forth game. Vegas has the Lakers at a 7.5 disadvantage, but you know what? Lakers have been really good, and we've been playing really tough, and I think it's going to be a closer game than Vegas has this game. We'll talk about the Spurs next. They have the third highest implied total on the slate at 106 projected points against the Warriors, who play at a fast pace, and the Spurs get a 3% pace bump. Last, we'll talk about the Lakers. They have the lowest implied total on the slate at 102 projected points. They actually get a slight pace down game against the Blazers, but I think like I said, this is going to be a back and forth game. I think that the Blazers and the Lakers game has a much better chance to stay close than the Warriors and the Spurs. But the thing is you can never count the Spurs out because they have a solid scheme, and that scheme usually keeps them in games. I just don't know where they're going to get scoring from against the Warriors, who put up tons of points. But it's going to be a fun 2-game slate. I don't think it's a cash game slate. So I think if you are going to play, just throw in a couple lines in GPP and just move about your day. 2-game slates are always tough for cash games, but it's doable. And we play every day, and we will be playing tomorrow as well. So, I mean, I know that's a short intro to today, but there's only 2 games. I'm going to kind of just go over my top picks at each position and get you going about your business and get your lineup construction started. Earlier the better. I try to do this video a little bit earlier tonight and kind of get you going. So we'll start at point guard. Obviously, the top point guard is going to be Stephen Curry. He's been great this season. I feel like his price is still a little bit lower than it should be. Next, we'll talk about the Damian Lillard going against the Lakers in the fast-paced game. Lonzo Ball, he's been good. Don't get me wrong, but he's nothing of Damian Lillard's caliber. And Damian Lillard's been on a roll to start this season. He had a good game tonight, and I can definitely see it rolling again tomorrow at home against the Lakers. DeJounte Murray for the Spurs, the young guy, he's been playing great. He got his starting role this season, and he's been living up to the hype, and I really like him on the lower end of point guards. Lonzo Ball, I know he hasn't shown that he does anything absolutely great, especially scoring, but one thing we know about him is he fills up the stat sheet, and in fantasy, that's what we want, is the people who fill up the stat sheet. So you got to look at Lonzo Ball in this 2-game slate. And lastly, coming off the bench for a cheap, you can look at Patty Mills. If this game turns into a blowout, maybe he'll get some extra run with the second unit against the fast-paced Warriors. Moving on to shooting guards, we'll start with Klay Thompson. I think all the Warriors players are pretty much the top players on the slate. Klay Thompson, I mean, he's top 3 shooting guard in the league. The guy's really, really good, and if he gets hot, we know he can put up points in bunches. Next, we'll talk about C.J. McCollum. I think he's a top 5 shooting guard as well. Him and Damian Lillard have been carrying the Blazers the past couple seasons. The guy, he puts up tons of fantasy points, and you got to really look at C.J. McCollum tomorrow. Next, we'll talk about Danny Green. The guy's he feels like he's been with the Spurs forever. But year after year, he continues to hit threes, get steals, play good defense. He's on the lower end of the shooting guard spectrum. I think he's definitely a solid GPP play. And last, we'll talk about Kentavious Caldwell-Pope for the Lakers. The guy, he had a good game against Detroit the other night, going back to face his old team. He's getting his run with the Lakers, and minutes equal fantasy points, and we like minutes, so I think Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is definitely in play. Moving on to small forwards, Kevin Durant is going to be the top small forward on the slate. Next, I like Maurice Harkless for the Portland Trailblazers. Kyle Anderson for the Spurs. Brandon Ingram, the young guy for the Lakers, he's been playing well. I like him tomorrow. Evan Turner. The guy, I mean, I've been a big Evan Turner fan for a long time, ever since he's been back at Ohio State. He's a baller. I mean, plain and simple, he does a little bit on the defense. He does some on the offense. When he gets hot, you know, he puts up points in bunches. Evan Turner's a great play tomorrow. You got Andre Iguodala coming off the bench for the Warriors against the Spurs. If this game is going to stay tight at all, he'll get those crunch time minutes. And lastly, we'll talk about Rudy Gay. You know, the Spurs, they don't have a ton of scoring besides Aldridge. And Rudy Gay is probably their second best scorer on the team. He's coming off the bench, but he's getting a lot of shots with the second unit. And whenever the game is close, they do keep him in with the starters. So Rudy Gay does look nice tomorrow. Moving on to power forwards, you got to talk about Draymond first. The guy, he's a stat sheet filler, plain and simple. Farouq Aminu for the Blazers. He's pretty much like a poor man's Draymond. He fills up the stat sheet, does the defensive stuff. He could get hot from threes. We've seen it before. LaMarcus Aldridge, he's the Spurs' primary scorer. The only thing that scares me a little bit about Aldridge is he could be guarded by Draymond, and Draymond's a defensive player of the year last year. He plays really good defense, so I think he could shut down Aldridge. But it's a small slate, and we got to pick some people. Larry Nance / Julius Randle. I'm going to say / because both of these guys have been playing very well. Larry Nance is starting. Julius Randle is backing him up. So they kind of are, fighting with each other for fantasy points, due to fighting for minutes. But, Walton has shown in crunch time, sometimes he doesn't have Brook Lopez off, and he goes with the combination of Larry Nance and Randle, which helps both of them out at the same time. And also Kyle Kuzma, the young rookie. This guy has shown he can score, flat out score points, and we're giving him a lot of minutes, with the second unit. He's getting pretty much as many shots as he wants. I think he's a solid GPP play. And then moving on to center, we'll talk about Zaza Pachulia. The guy, for his price, we can't say he's doing great, but for his price, he's getting close to value every night. It's all about if he's going to get his minutes or not. Jusuf Nurkic for the Portland Trailblazers. He's good. Plain and simple, I really like Nurkic. I think he's probably going to be the top center on the slate. I'm going against Brook Lopez. I really like him. You got Paul Gasol for the Spurs. He's old, but he still does his thing, and he's been hitting threes, and I like Paul Gasol. And lastly, Brook Lopez. He doesn't do nothing special, but he's been hitting some threes, and he gets his offensive points. And on a short slate, I definitely think he's a solid GPP play. So I know this was a little bit shorter than usual, but it's only 2 games. So if you haven't already, please click the subscribe button below. Please click the like button. If I didn't talk about somebody that you like, please leave it in a comment, and we can kind of discuss the guy. I'll give you my opinion on him. And thank you. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.